Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. This is your weekly Smart Money Sundays episode. And although it is Monday, I still wanted to put together a video for you. I've been enjoying the holiday weekend, and obviously the markets have been stagnant, haven't really moved to start the week, and that was expected with the bank holiday. But still going to kind of break down some of these charts for you guys today and kind of what we're looking at, what levels to kind of be met throughout the week in the overall bias. Okay, but first I want to kind of announce time is running out for our Labor Day promo. We typically like to offer discounts on our services for holiday weekends, and so we have a 20% discount running right now for Labor Day promo on our mentorship program. So if you are interested in that, please head over to our website, aerialeffectstrading.com, book a quick call with either Nathan or me, and we can talk it through, or simply just shoot us a message on Telegram at aerialeffectstrading if you're interested. All right, but time is running out. That again is 20% off of our mentorship. So take advantage of that while you can. We will be adding a in-depth psychology course very soon to our mentorship, which will then increase the overall price of the package. So you want to get in now. And if you are an existing member, that psychology course will not be any extra charge to you. All right, so shoot us a quick message if you'd like to take part in this promo while it still lasts. All right. So disclaimer, guys, there's risk in trading. We aren't financial advisors. If you want financial advice, please seek a licensed financial advisor in your local area. This video is for educational purposes only. All right, but let's kind of start off here on Euro USD as usual. And again, last week was very uneventful, right? There wasn't really much going on here. This is the daily time frame. And remember, we were talking about wanting price to get up at least into this 8-hour supply, if not the extreme POI, the inefficiency here, this up close candle, in and around 102.80, right? So we had some pushes up, but that was just simply followed by sell-offs. All right, but we have run the low now. And price isn't necessarily as attractive to sell down in these lows, right? And so we want to get price into premium for selling opportunities. All right, and so obviously it's somewhat of a waiting game at the moment. Unless you're looking to trade counter trend, which is inherently riskier. All right, but if the opportunity presents itself, right, if we do accumulate and we have some type of sell to buy break of structure and we have room to go up into our bearish POIs, then it's something you can consider taking risk on. All right, but for me, I think personally, we still have a lot of room to go on to the downside on these dollar pairs. Doesn't mean it's going to happen now, but I would naturally still expect potentially a run, maybe to fill the gap, and then a run lower, right? And then maybe that push higher midweek reversal to trade back up into our bearish POIs where we can be looking for selling opportunities. All right, and so if you do find a buying opportunity, sure, that's great, fine. But remember, the ideal opportunities on this pair and a lot of the dollar pairs is going to be selling opportunities as continuation trades with the overall higher time frame directional trend and momentum. All right, so again, potentially looking for the run lower, and then maybe we'll get that retracement higher to finish the week up into our bearish POIs. All right, but again, this is nothing really going on at the moment. GBP USD, really the same deal, right? 90-minute time frame is still on the cards. This is the level we talked about last week. Yeah, I really do like this level. Right, getting up in here, you can see Okay, liquidity, relative equal highs here, descending liquidity, buy to sell, inefficiency created. All right, so that brings us in and around 1.1820. I'd really like for price to have that retracement, right? Running out the short-term liquidity here, forgive my terrible drawing, running out these highs, right? Again, something like Euro USD, maybe running lower, break a structure, trade up higher into the POI, where we should be looking for distribution, the buy to sell, continuation. All right. So same thing, we just never got the retracement into the POI last week. Ultimately, it will trade back up into that level, right? It's just a matter of being patient again. All right, AUD USD. Obviously, this was given out for free last week on Smart Money Sundays to the T, right? This was perfection. So congratulations if you paid attention, right? And you marked off the level and you took the trade. All right, these are things that we give out week in, week out, guys. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but it's literally free every Sunday on YouTube, a bunch of potential opportunities for you to capitalize on throughout the week. And it's not something that we have to do, right? We could keep it strictly for our mentorship, which is what we do every single day. If you are part of our mentorship, you do get Smart Money Sundays like videos every single day. We call them daily market breakdown videos, but we do obviously offer the Smart Money Sundays series for free on YouTube every weekend, right? So seriously take advantage of these trades, of these levels that are given out and the education behind them. All right, and so beautiful trade here on the Aussie dollar, relative equal lows here, which is why I think we'll have another push lower on these dollar pairs. Trading into that 12-hour POI as discussed, which was our target for these sells, right? So almost reached this target. You can see the inefficiency that price will likely trade into 6765, right? And so after getting to that point, I'm not going to obviously be placing a limit here, but it would be nice to see some type of reaction, break of structure, and then catch a potential counter trend intraday opportunity to the upside. All right. But if we do push higher initially before running out the lows and trading into the POI, obviously we could be looking for selling opportunities potentially off of the inefficiency here. Right, where we ran liquidity, inefficiency created, right? We potentially push up higher in Asian session today and then look for selling opportunities into the equal lows, into the POI. Right, but the overall trade here is done and dusted, essentially. We just have a little bit more to go. So that was the real true opportunity, again, alongside trend and momentum. Right, that's the beauty of it. We were trading alongside trend and momentum. And then looking for buys here would be counter trend, so again, inherently riskier. Right, so that's the power here of catching a trade like this. Right, a nice 1 to 5.5. You can then potentially look to utilize some of that profit on a potential counter trend opportunity to the upside, right? But that pair was already taken care of last week. Doesn't mean we should always be in a trade on every single pair, right? We found a good opportunity on AU last week. Doesn't mean there's going to be a good one on AU this week. All right, USD Cad, last Sunday we wanted the 8-hour down close, right? We wanted this level. We didn't quite get into it, unfortunately. Right, just kind of filled up some of this inefficiency here and sprung higher. I believe this will be the draw on liquidity here, right? So we should be looking for excuses, pullbacks to buy up into the old high. That would fall into alignment with another push higher on the dollar, right? And so in this case, two levels here. I would like to see us leave this high intact, obviously. So if we push lower first, that would be great. That would be confluence and conviction to buy into the old high here, right? And so for me, the POIs are going to be the 6-hour here, running out this short-term intraday liquidity, 6-hour continuation, or if we do somehow breach that level, then the 8-hour from last week I believe will still be on the cards. And again, that's if we leave the old high intact. If we go ahead and run it, then this becomes a little more scary for me, all right, for continuations. All right. So pretty straightforward stuff on that one. NU, another great opportunity that I gave out last week. Again, for free, right off of this demand here, traded into demand, reaction, demand failed, flips to supply. Beautiful, beautiful little drawdown entry, and a continuation lower into higher time frame POI, right? Running out this old low here, right? So beautiful trade there, nice 1 to 4. Now in terms of the here and now, again, it's like AU. We caught the right trade. We caught the move, right? So it doesn't mean there's going to be another layup opportunity on this week. Ultimately, higher time frame. My POI is going to be still the daily down close candle here. I believe we very well could trade down into this area 0.6 ultimately. Right, so that still gives us some room to the downside. So again, that kind of falls into alignment with some more strength in the dollar before maybe seeing a higher time frame retracement. All right, so potentially, push lower down into that POI, and then maybe we'll see that higher time frame move. All right, but still looking for moves in the overall direction of trend until that POI has been met. Swissy is similar to USD Cad. Okay, I want to run out this old high, trade up at least into this POI, but ultimately we have relative equal highs here. We have this descending liquidity that I believe will be the eventual draw on liquidity, right? So that's the case. We've really just been trickling up here. Really just been trickling. This was our POI last week where we ran out ascending liquidity, traded into the down close candle here. Right, so it still would be nice if we can get some type of significant sell-off down into here, 9600 area, and then that final push higher. I would really, really like to see that. But again, we can't just rely on that. We could very easily just continue with the lower time frame trend up into that area, and that's why this is going to be my first POI here. Right, this little doji candle here, this demand. Right, so we very well could just spike lower and continue higher. All right, so you have intraday POI and you have the more so higher time frame POI here. Right, and our students know how to react and adapt, utilize the power of time and price for execution on these POIs. Right, it's really powerful stuff. And it allows you to adjust and not get married to one particular level or one particular bias. All right, but that's USD Chf in alignment with the rest of our majors. All right, so hopefully that gives a pretty clear picture on what we're looking at across the board on the majors. Let's quickly brisk over some of these crosses. Now, Euro JPY, obviously the yen pairs are quite bullish still, and I'm looking at continuing with that momentum here on EJ up into at least the 2-hour up close candle here. All right, beautiful 2-hour up close, ran liquidity, traded into supply. That comes in and around 141.20, so that will be the objective for upside targets. And for me, we have very clean engineered equal lows here. So I would really like to see those run out. I want to run those out, potentially trade, obviously, old structure here, old market structure. We have a pretty clean demand candle right here. So we want to be buying below these old equal lows, looking to target that 141.20 area, potential, inverse head and shoulder fake out continuation. or excuse me, not inverse, a normal head and shoulder pattern. All right, but again, the idea is to be looking at this as a bullish market and looking to buy below sell side liquidity, right? Buy in the pool of liquidity. And for me, that's going to be right here, is where most of the liquidity is resting at the moment. Right, so we'll run that, take that objective, and then the next objective ought to be that 2-hour up close candle. All right, so that looks pretty good on Euro Yen. CAD JPY. This one's just really frustrating to me. Right, we had this beautiful little POI here that I was fully expecting a retracement down into for continuation, but that's okay. We react and adapt, as I just talked about. Right, and this is why I gave out this level to our VIP students last week, simply following the lower time frame structure and demand when price is being stubborn and not wanting to, there's not enough momentum or catalyst to push price into the higher time frame POI. So we simply trade with the lower time frame until that breaks, and then we take the higher time frame and you know, with the higher time frame trade, we make up for the one loss that we took when we traded with the lower time frame. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, and so again, we still have this higher time frame intact if we do spike lower, but the lower time frame for me is going to be the 1 hour right here. Right, looking for a simple continuation. Right, we had liquidity here that was run out, sell to buy, break a structure. Right, simple pullback into demand, another higher low, higher high. Naturally, you'd expect a higher low and a higher high following a lower time frame trend. All right, so you already caught this move. That's great. You know, this is the next logical area. If that breaks, fine. Then we'll take it here and make all that money back and more. All right. We're looking to take this thing up into at least 107.65. This is the old high from July. All right, previous month's high. I believe that will get taken out. And I think because we're so close to it, it just logically doesn't make sense that price will retrace all the way down in here before we get up there. But you never know. We leave that level intact because we ultimately know it's very likely that price will take out this high. Right, but I think it's more probable that we simply trade into the lower time frame and continue higher. All right, but those are the two levels on CAD JPY. GJ, man, is this thing stubborn, right? We wanted it to run out the relative equal lows here, trade into that 45-minute H1 candle. I'll go down to the 45. This 45-minute candle, and we did run out the equal lows, right? We almost essentially gapped yesterday. Now we're pushing higher, but we didn't quite hit the 45-minute candle. So very annoying, very frustrating. I still think we can have one more potential drive. If we do, then that would be a beautiful discounted price, right? To then go ahead and target all of this liquidity, all this buy side liquidity that has been built up for quite some time now. Right, running back up into the supply up here at 165, right? So if we can get lower, again, if we can run today's low, then that would be great for an overall push higher. If we do break structure here, right, a clean, firm break above, then we would be looking for pullbacks, higher lows here for continuation, right? So again, just reacting and adapting here. Euro Canadian. All right, this is another one. It's in a significant higher time frame downtrend. You can see that, and this is what we were talking about last week, looking to run out these highs and these highs, trade up into the supply. Sure enough, that's what we did. Right, we ran up into the high, retreated, right, boom, buy to sell, running out engineered liquidity, and falling back within the range. I don't necessarily view this as a low in the market. Right, so I think we can continue lower with the overall trend and create a new lower low ultimately on the higher time frame. And so if that's the case, I'm looking at this as potential induced liquidity to trade back up into that 3-hour up close candle here. So if we can kind of trickle up, engineer more liquidity, buy to sell, that would be great. Right? really clean looking sponsored candle here. This is a true sponsored candle. Why? Because you can see that we really purged, dug through the liquidity that was engineered in a very sharp, immediate reaction to the downside, engulfing back within the higher time frame market structure. All right, so that's the level on Euro Cad. GBP Cad is similar. Right, I know we wanted to get back above here into this old demand turn supply. The momentum is just very, very strong. Right, pound is very weak. Cad's pretty strong at the moment, and so this is going to be the initial point of interest, trading back up into here and continuation. This area from last week as the secondary point of interest. Right, but I'd really like to see price dig up. Similar candle as Euro Cad, you have the inefficiency here as well. Right, nice inefficiency after running out all of this descending liquidity. Right, so nice sponsored move, buy to sell. Right, so all we're looking for when we're in these significant enduring trends is retracements into intraday premium, right, for continuations. Just a couple more. Cad Swissy. Cad Swissy is another one we talked about, running out all of this trend line liquidity, all of these relative equal highs up in here, and trading ultimately back up into this old low. Right, I think that's very much so on the cards. Again, we wanted that kind of area similar to Cad JPY. We wanted that higher time frame retracement and for price to trade down into this inefficiency. Now this area is still on the cards, absolutely. I'm not deleting it. That will stay, but very similar to CADJ, we're simply respecting lower time frame structure at the moment, right? And so with that being the case, and now the fact we have very clean equal highs here. Oops. Nice, perfect equal highs almost on this cross. I'm still looking at retracements into discount for continuations into the liquidity, right? And so simply following the mitigation train, right? Looking at this as the initial POI, trading into this, I think it was a 15-minute candle that we traded into here. Nice 15-minute candle. There you go. Sell to buy that ran liquidity, broke structure to the upside. So simply looking to trade off of now this level, this mitigation trade. All right, and so initial POI, if we do breach, don't sweat it, right? Ultimately, we still have our objectives to the upside. That just means better discount for continuations. In that case, we would then be looking to run out these relative equal lows and ultimately trade into this area for a nice big swing trade to the upside, right? So nothing's really changed in terms of bias here on CAD Swiss franc. GBP Swiss franc, again, tons of liquidity to be run to the upside. That's why I am entertaining potential buying opportunities on this one, although the pound is weak. Right, all of this I firmly believe will get destroyed eventually, right? But we have to wait for the proper price action and time and price. In this case, I still think we're going to make another run on the lows, right? And then look for that accumulation and then the break of structure, and then we can look to target these highs. But then ultimately I'm interested in a selling opportunity from our supply, right? So looking at this as kind of that sell model, right, where we run those lows, trigger the breakout traders, run the highs, trade into supply, and continue down with our overall direction of trend. And that area is really 11450 into 11480 is kind of the bearish POI. All right, so if we do get that buying opportunity, just like on kind of GU, that's fine, that's great, but understanding the overall momentum and direction, you know, it's not a bad area to look to take risks because we have lots of liquidity to target to the upside, but make sure you are using proper risk management and not over leveraging, especially on counter trend opportunities. All right, last one I want to highlight today is the Nzd Chf. Obviously, this was also given out last week for free. So just tons of trades every single week, tons of levels. I don't know what else to say, guys. You're welcome, I guess. But this is the area that we've talked about, I think, actually for a couple weeks now. But a beautiful wick entry here. And we do have very clean relative equal lows on the higher time frame. And so because of that, because we have equal lows and because the higher time frame is overall bearish, I have some pretty good conviction and confidence behind continuations lower. So again, just be looking for excuses, kind of buy to sells, proper time and price, London Open or New York Open, for continuations down into the higher time frame objective, which is 5,900 below these equal lows. All right. So congrats if you caught this move last week, right? Really nice opportunity presented on Nzd Chf, and you just had to be patient for it, right? We had the level, but price came up into it, traded lower, came up higher, traded lower, came up higher, traded lower. A lot of people would simply just delete the order, right? But you have to just simply understand your levels and the fact that everything in between is simply noise, right? Meant to throw you off psychologically. Right, you have to be blind to this kind of stuff and see this kind of stuff. Right, see this kind of stuff, equal lows. Right, and that's what kind of opens your eyes, and it's really what kind of allowed me to break through. Simply understanding the levels, the logic behind them, and weeding out the garbage, the noise, the things that distract, that throw you off your psychological kind of kilter. All right. So that wraps it up for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. As usual, I know we get a lot of good positive feedback for these episodes. Very happy to do them. It holds me accountable as well. In doing my weekend analysis, so it's really just a win-win for everybody. So hit us up if you have any questions or if you have any particular chart that maybe I didn't cover that you're interested in, and maybe we can critique your analysis. But other than that, again, I'll reiterate, time is running out for our Labor Day promo. So that's 20% off of our mentorship. We only offer one package now. It's really, the objective is to take you from A to Z to become a fully funded six-figure trader and self-sufficient, not reliant on anyone else but yourself. So if you have what it takes and you're interested in that, please head over to our website, aerialfxtrading.com, and book a call with either Nate or me, and we'll be happy to kind of draw out a customized plan to help you reach your goals, or simply just message us on Telegram at aerialfxtrading, and we'd be happy to give you more information and get you onboarded as soon as possible. All right, hope you have a great rest of your week, everyone, and we'll talk to you again next Sunday.